A very good morning, everyone. I'll be presenting Journal Club 14 on the topic the effectiveness of lingual frenectomy and myofunctional therapy for children, a randomized control clinical trial. Tongue tie. Ankyloglossia or tongue tie is a congenital anomaly that is characterized by a short lingual frenum. The lingual frenum may be attached anywhere from at or near the tip of the tongue to the posterior aspect of the undersurface of the tongue, but if short or thickened, it may interfere with normal tongue mobility and thus protrusion. For the affected child, this may manifest in a number of ways: breastfeeding, including poor latch, irritability with feeding, short intervals between ineffective feeds, poor weight gain, or the frank inability to breastfeed. Symptomatic ankyloglossia can also manifest as difficulty with speech later in infancy and maxillofacial malformation. Lingual frenum, the thin strip of tissue that runs vertically from the floor of the mouth to the undersurface of tongue, is called the lingual frenum. It tends to limit the movement of tongue, and in some people it is short, that it actually interferes with the speaking. The base of the frenum contains a V-shaped hump of tissue in the floor of mouth, which houses a series of salivary gland ducts. The two largest ducts are in center, just in front of the attachment of the lingual frenum, and are called Wharton's duct. Ankyloglossia, the lingual frenum is formed during the fourth week of gestation as the two lateral swelling move medially to fuse the tuberculum impaired, forming the anterior two-thirds of the tongue. The tongue then separates from the floor of the mouth to form the lingual sulcus. Failure of release results in varying degree of ankyloglossia or tongue tie, in which a fibrous band in middle tethers the tongue to the alveolar ridge of the mouth floor of the mouth. Ankyloglossia can be asymptomatic or may have a wide range of consequences, including difficulty with breastfeeding, oral hygiene, dental development, speech, and other social factors. Treatment often involves division of band to provide better tongue mobility. Frenectomy, the labial frenum attachment have been classified as mucosal, gingival, papillary, and papillary penetrating by Clark et al. In 1974. Mucosal when flat frenal fibers are attached up to the mucogingival junction. Gingival when fibers are inserted within the attached gingiva. Papillary when fibers are extending into the interdental papilla. Papilla penetrating when the fibers cross the alveolar process and extend up to the palatine papilla. The frenum is characterized as pathologic and indicated for removal when aberrant frenal attachment is present, which cause a midline diastema. A flattened papilla with a frenum closed attachment to the gingival margin is present, which cause a gingival recession and a hindrance in maintaining the oral hygiene. An aberrant frenum with an inadequately attached gingiva and shallow vestibule is seen. Treatment: the aberrant frena can be treated by frenectomy or by frenectomy procedures. Frenectomy is complete removal of the frenum, including the attachment to the underlying bone, while frenotomy is just the incision and relocation of frenal attachment. Myofunctional therapy has been defined as the treatment of dysfunction of muscles of face and mouth with the purpose of correcting orofacial functions such as chewing and swallowing and promoting nasal breathing. Uh, Surgical treatment of short lingual frenum in children. Ankyloglossia is a congenital anomaly characterized by an abnormally short lingual frenum, resulting in varying degree of difficulty of tongue mobility. It may be asymptomatic or it may be present with breastfeeding difficulties, speech and dentition disorders, and social problems related to functional limitation of the tongue. While it is common and known pathology, controversies and diversity of opinions persist regarding the indication, timing, and method of surgical correction. We describe our experience with 35 children presenting this condition. They underwent successful surgical treatment. Ankyloglossia as a as a problem and its surgical management. As a functional problem and its surgical management. Tongue tie or ankylosing is developmental anomaly of the tongue characterized by abnormally short, thick frenum resulting in limited tongue movement. Ankyloglossia can affect speech, feeding, delay, oral hygiene, as well as mechanical and social effects. Diagnosis of tongue tie is based on clinical examination. Tongue mobility and appearance associated with the insertion, as well as the attachment and shortness of frenum, should be evaluated. Ankyloglossia management should be considered at any age, considering the risk benefit evaluation, and because of the highest vascularization and mobility of tongue, lingual frenectomy should be performed with less traumatic events to avoid post-operative complication. The aim of this article is to report two cases of ankylosing in young patients who were referred to Department of Oral Surgery of Faculty of Dentistry at Mohammed V University of Rabat, Morocco. According to Kotlow's classification, both patients were diagnosed with class 2 and treated with surgical frenectomy following by speech therapy for an immediate rehabilitation. A marked improvement in the movement of tongue was observed by at a follow-up visit in treated cases. Z. Lingual frenuloplasty, myofunctional therapy exploring safety and efficacy in 348 cases. Ankylosing is a condition of altered tongue mobility due to presence of restrictive tissue between the undersurface of tongue and floor of the mouth. Potential implications of restricted tongue mobility remain unappreciated due to limited peer review evidence. Hence, we explore the safety and efficacy of lingual frenuloplasty and myofunctional therapy for treatment of condition in large and diverse cohorts of patients with restricted tongue mobility. 420 consecutive patients treated with myofunctional therapy and lingual frenuloplasty for indications of mouth breathing, snoring, dental clenching, and myofascial tension was surveyed. All procedures were performed by a single surgeon using a scissor and suture technique. Safety and efficacy was assessed more than 2 months post-operatively by means of patient report outcomes measure. Result in all, 348 survey were completed showing 91% satisfaction rate and 87% rate of improvement in quality of life through amelioration of mouth, breathing, snoring, clenching, and myofascial tension. Minor complication occurred in less than 5% of cases, including complaint of prolonged pain or bleeding, temporary numbness of tongue tip, salivary gland issues, minor wound infection or inflammation, and need for revision to excise scar tissue. There were no major complications. Conclusion: lingual frenuloplasty with myofunctional therapy is safe and potentially effective for treatment of mouth breathing, snoring, clenching, and myofascial tension in appropriately selected patient candidates. Further studies with objective measures were merited. Tethered oral tissue may represent anatomic variation or true pathology with functional limitations. The most prevalent functional limitation is impaired feeding due to ankyloglossia. Treatment options include conservative management with feeding support versus interventions such as splenectomy or frenuloplasty. The benefits of intervention have yet to be fully elucidated. Many can agree that intervention may improve maternal pain during breastfeeding, but the impact of these procedures on feeding efficiency, and intake is debated. Alternate ties such as posterior ankylosing and lip tie have been proposed as pathological oral ties, but their true impact on feeding and speech articulation remains unclear. The effect is To evaluate the effectiveness of lingual frenectomy as a standalone treatment or in association with myofunctional therapy on the general and functional aspects of 6 to 12-year-old children with anomalies in lingual frenum methods, this randomized control trial involved 40 children diagnosed with altered lingual frenum. Children who received a frenectomy were evaluated 15 and 30 days after the procedure. After 15 days, the children were randomized into two groups, a group that received isotonic tongue exercise and group that did not receive isotonic tongue exercise. The outcome evaluated was blinded to group assignment. Statistical tests were used to compare between and within the groups. There were 20 children in each group. Children improved significantly when compared to the control study group. Uh, regarding tongue mobility, maximum mouth opening. The maximum mouth opening with the tip of tongue touching the incisive papilla. Conclusion: frenectomy associated with myofunctional therapy benefited tongue mobility. The lingual frenum is a mobile three-dimensional structure composed of a central band of connective tissue that extends to the floor of the mouth. Alteration in the frenum is due to failure in cell apoptosis that occurs between the floor of mouth and tongue during embryogenesis. The point of attachment of tongue to the floor of mouth does not change over time, and its historical characteristics prevalent spontaneous breaks or elongations through exercise. The prevalence of tongue frenum anomalies ranging between 0.1% and 8% and occur more frequently in boys. An altered lingual frenum interferes with orofacial functions. Thus, it is important to properly diagnose and treat an abnormal frenum. Assessment parameters are based on the observation of tongue mobility and appearance, together with the point of attachment of lingual frenum. Although tools were intended to classify changes in lingual frenum have also been used for assessment, there is no validated instrument for evaluation of frenum of children of preschool age or older. Referral for surgical intervention should follow careful considerations of morphological and functional aspects of tongue to promote the improvement. Frenectomy is the procedure used to remove the lingual frenum. A systematic review found that in some studies, various surgical techniques have improved susceptibility of tongue mobility, such as elevation and protrusion. After intervention, however, in case when recovery period for tongue movement is long, tongue mobility exercise could be recommended. Speech therapy after surgery for lingual frenum anomaly has been documented. One case series study noted that substitution or omission speech can improve the surgery, but then evolved into distortions and remained in the speech for some children. As tongue exercise after surgery would constitute necessary care for children, approaches involving isotonic tongue exercise, language, and technique for production of phonemes have been improved mobility, thus demonstrating a great therapeutic effect. There is a breadth of published evidence of quality. In the literature, most of the articles present methodological limitations. Thus, the purpose of this study was to evaluate the effectiveness of frenectomy with or without myofunctional therapy on the general and functional aspects of 6 to 12-year-old children with an alteration of lingual frenum. Method. This was a randomized, single-blinded, parallel group study using children between 6 and 12 years of age who referred to School of Dentistry at the Federal University of Rio Grande, UFRGS, Porto Alegre, Rio Grande do Sul in Brazil. The research project was approved by the Research and Ethics Committee at UFRGS. Returned informed consent and assent were formed. Forms were signed by parents and children before participating in the study. The protocol was published in Brazilian Study of Randomized Clinical Trial. The study included children who presented anomalies in the lingual frenulum and were referred for a lingual frenectomy. Children with no maxillary or mandibular incisors, head or neck malformation, cognitive impairment, complain of hearing loss or previous contemporaneous history of surgical procedures on their lingual frenum, who are undergoing speech therapy or whose guardians did not consent to participate were excluded from the study. Children with altered lingual frenum underwent an initial treatment using the tongue frenulum evaluation protocol followed by the procedure. Sutures were removed 7 days later. On the 15th day post surgery, the children returned for evaluation and were divided into a group that received isotonic tongue exercise and a group that did not receive isotonic tongue exercise. On the 30th day, all children returned for a final evaluation. The children were examined by an experienced speech language pathologist using the tongue frenum evaluation protocol, which consists of an interview with the guardians and a clinical examination of the child. The clinical assessment is divided into general and functional findings. The former include reduced tongue lift and maximal mouth opening measurements in millimeter, as well as maximal mouth opening measurements in millimeter with the tip of tongue touching the incisive papilla. Similarly, type of lingual frenum and the points of attachment were classified. The functional findings include tongue mobility, muscle tongue, tongue position at rest, changes in the production of speech sound, and other aspects of speech. The clinical examination findings were scored as 0 for no anomalies, and 1 or 2 for severity of an alteration. When the sum score of the general test was was equal to or greater than 3, the lingual frenulum was considered changed. When the sum of the functional tests were equal to or greater than 25, anomalies in the lingual frenum may affect orofacial functions such as speech. The speech assessment was also performed using same protocol and consisted of 3 parts. Informed speech, the children were asked, what's your name? How old are you? Do you study? These kind of questions. Counting from 1 to 20, naming the weekdays and month of the year, naming 15 figures on board. During the latter part of the evaluation, omission, substitution, and distortions were observed. Under the item, other aspects to be observed during speech, opening of the mouth, tongue position, jaw movement, speed, accuracy of speech, and as a whole, and voice were analyzed. The protocol was used together with an anthroposcopic approach complemented by further image and footage analysis and recorded with a data PowerShot SX240HS camera placed on 1 meter away from the child. Gloves were worn by the assessor as well as 150 mm digital caliper previously sterilized with 70% ethanol. A diagnosis of anomaly of lingual frenum was research based on the protocol. The lingual frenum of the participants were classified into anterior attachment, short frenulum, anterior and short frenulum. And ankyloglossia when the frenulum was fused to the floor of mouth. Based on the type of attachment of these structures, the protocol included instruction for different classification, including the type of frenulum in the photograph. Before frenectomy, the operating dentist evaluated the patient's tongue anatomy and the range of tongue lift, extension, and lateralization. Dentist who has experience in this field performed the surgical procedure on all patients and the same frenectomy technique under local anesthesia derived via lingual nerve block. The apex of the tongue was transfixed surgically to immobilize the tongue, and an incision was made in the lingual frenum tissue with a scalpel blade number 15. The muscle fibers were dissected with straight, blunt edge scissor to create diamond shaped surgical wound. Tongue lift, even if passively, was assessed to verify adequate movements of oral function. The surgical wound was closed with silk suture which were removed 7 days after surgery. Children were randomly divided into 2 groups pre or post operatively via random organized website by a researcher who did not participate in the study. The researcher who conducted the postoperative intervention was not the same who examined the children at T0, T15, and T30. Thus, the evaluator was blinded as to the children belong to each group. Study group children were instructed to perform isotonic tongue exercise between 15 and 29 day after procedure. Based on literature, three exercises were prescribed: running the tongue around the closed lips and teeth, touching the 4 points outside the mouth with the tip of the tongue, and pronouncing the sounds L and N alternatively. Patients were asked to perform the exercise 3 times a day and to record the frequency and dates of practice on table diagnosed by the designed by the researcher. The 14 table was complemented by description of proper way to do each exercise. Participants were also instructed not to mention doing these exercises to speech pathologists who assessed them at T30. The protocol was used to examine CG and SG children at T30. For comparison between the Kruskal-Wallis test was used to compare proportion between groups. Person's chi-square test or Fisher-Excel test was applied. For simultaneous intra and intergroup comparison, generalized estimation of equations were used, complemented by least significant difference test. The level of significance was set 5%. Statistical analysis were performed using IBM SPSS 21.0 software. Results: out of 62 children diagnosed with alteration of the lingual freedom, 6 were either missing mandibular and or maxillary incisor, had undergone or undergoing speech therapy at the time of the study, or presented cognitive impairment. Therefore, they did not meet the inclusion criteria. 4 other children were excluded because of their guardian or they did not wish to participate. Out of 52 children allocated, 12 children were excluded due to abandonment or failure to do the exercise during the follow-up period. The final analysis included 40 children who completed all 4 stages of the study. There were 14 males in the CG and 11 males in the uh, study group. The subjects' mean age was similar in both groups. There was no statistically significant difference in the patient complaint before groups. However, 12 subjects in the control group and 9 children in the study group complained about speech issues, while 6 subjects in the control group and 8 children in the study group complained about a short frenulum. Speech problems were present in 16 patients in the control group and 14 children in the study group. In 10 children in control group and 12 subjects in the study group, there was familiar history of lingual freedom issues. There was no significant difference between the control group and study group concerning the functional and general test. Short and anterior frenula were the most common alterations in the lingual frenulum observed in both groups. Low score were observed in general test. After analyzing the frequency of anomalies in the study group and the control group functional test, most patients were only able to produce imprecise tongue mobility movements or were simply able to do them. Among all the subjects, disability were more frequent in the tongue vibration test, followed by reduced tongue muscle tone and non-visible tongue at rest. Among all the speech tasks of the assessment protocol, the anomaly of highest occurrence was distortion of forms. Other typical aspects of speech were observed among the children, such as reduced mouth opening, tongue position of the on the floor of mouth, and anterior tongue position. Unclear speech was noted in 36 children. Result of general and functional test at T0, T15, and T30 concerning intervention effect over time and among groups are described in table 2. The general and functional aspects of test improved in both groups T0 and T15 except for general test of maximum mouth opening in both groups, which showed no significant process, and a smaller improvement in functional test of other speech in the study group. The study group showed further progress between T15 and T30 with statistical significance for improvement in functional test of tongue lift. The relationship between the percentage of maximum mouth opening and maximum mouth opening with TTIP using the general test presented significant improvement between T15 and T30 for the control group. However, this relationship was not observed in the study group. In the intergroup analysis, no association was observed between the variables and general and functional tests. The study group showed significant improvement compared to the control group subjects regarding maximum mouth opening with TTIP and tongue mobility between T0 and T30. Discussion. Short and anterior frenula were the most frequent anomalies found in the study. However, others have noticed a higher prevalence of short frenulum. Since there is no conscious on diagnostic criteria, each study is defined by specific indicators, which in turn are related to factors such as profession, study location, personal experience, and number of cases. These differences may affect the classification of anomalies. A systematic review discussed the common criteria among studies regarding abnormalities of lingual frenum and included appearance of the frenulum, the shape of tongue when extended, and mobility of different difficulties. Thus, there is an anatomical profile of what the frenulum alteration determines, but since the degree of alteration is variable, it becomes necessary to evaluate the anatomy of tongue, the frenulum alone, and the adjacent structures such as floor of the mouth. The outcome of the functional test in the peri-intervention period showed low score for tongue mobility and speech for both groups. Movement restrictions occurs due to mechanical change in the tongue. In this study, when the tongue mobility test was conducted, most children in the group were observed uh, reproducing imprecise movements or failing to do them altogether. Uh, Studies have shown occurrence of changes in mobility and praxis in individuals with alteration in the lingual frenulum. These studies show a significant association between extension of the frenulum and mobility test, as well as between praxis attachment of the frenulum to the floor of the mouth and tongue mobility. This is because the lingual frenum is composed of high amount of type 1 collagen fibers, which have considerable tensile strength and can therefore restrict tongue movements. Movement restriction occurs due to mechanical changes in tongue. In study, the tongue mobility test was conducted in most of the studies showed a significant association between extension of frenulum and mobility test, as well as between praxis attachment of the frenulum to the floor of the mouth and tongue mobility. This is because the lingual frenulum is composed of high amount of type 1 collagen fiber and have considerable tensile strength and can therefore restrict tongue movement. In this study, short anterior frenula was the most prevalent anomaly, as well as accompanying inability to vibrate the tongue. The muscle tone of the tongue was diminished among more than half of the children in both groups, which have been collaborated in other studies. In children with alteration of frenulum, the resting position of the tongue will probably be on the floor of the mouth due to difficulty maintaining tip of the tongue on the incisive papilla. On its own, this can decrease its muscle tone. In habitual posture of rest, the tongue was not visible in 55% of children. More than half of the children with anomaly of lingual frenulum, the tongue was positioned on the floor of the mouth and also exhibited anterior positioning during speech, which was similar to another study. This is to be expected since difference in attachment of an extension make it difficult for the tongue to move freely. For this reason, the tongue remains in low position while articulating sounds, leading to a great impact on speech. A distortion of forms was observed in 75% of the participants, which was observed in other studies. It can be said that the dissociation occurs when the speakers seek to adjust or compensate for his or her speech disorder in attempt to improve intelligibility. Phonetic speech disorder is the most common found speech symptom in children with alteration in the lingual frenulum. This occurs because the anterior third portion of the tongue, which is necessary for articulation of sound, cannot rise the alveolar ridge due to the mechanical impediment caused by shortening or atypical attachment of the lingual frenulum. Other aspects of speech were also observed, such as the articulatory impression in 90% of the participant, as well as reduced mouth opening during speech, which was in agreement with other study. Blocked articulation is one of the factors that cause articulatory impression and often affects speech as whole. While the tongue tries to move through the correct points of the articulation, the to produce speech sound, the space between the upper and lower jaw narrows, a type of compensation due to reduced tongue mobility. Regarding the post-surgical effects of T15, significant progress was noted concerning performance in general and functional tests after frenectomy, except for some aspects uh, aforementioned. A similar result was found in a study that evaluated 10 participants after splenectomy, in which all the participants showed varying degree of progress regarding orofacial function and tongue posture and mobility, whether or not there was complementary speech therapy. A survey conducted in Japan evaluated the speech of children between 3 and 8 years of age who had a diagnosis of anomalies of the lingual frenulum and found outcomes similar to the present study. After a speech articulation test was given, the Japanese author found that the speech impediments in 4 of the 5 children had improved due to the surgical procedure, which was also in agreement with other studies. A systematic review quoted 4 studies that compared aspects related to tongue mobility, alter different surgery techniques. In this study, maximum mouth opening and TTIP as well as tongue extension showed improvement after surgery as observed in the present study. Regarding the effect of the intervention with exercise, and the study group showed significant improvement in the tongue mobility and aspects of speech, while the control group did not show the same degree of progress. Similar results were found in the studies that have used isotonic exercise after frenectomy. Those authors observed that in general the articulation improved, but no mention was in general whether omission, distortion, phonetic substitution remained in the speech. One case study reported that an 8-year-old child, after having undergone frenectomy, presented speech distortion in 2 follow-up. The author identified speech problem involving omissions, substitution distortion, even after exercise therapy. Another case study stated that even after the rehabilitation therapy should include functional therapy due to distortion of form. Post-operative tongue exercise and speech therapy are essential for individuals who have acquired compensation speech habits due to presence of alteration in lingual frenum. Concerning the effect of intervention between T0 and 330, the study group showed significant improvement in tongue mobility, maximum mouth opening with TTIP. According to study offered, that also offered post-operative myofunction exercise to children. Improvement in tongue lift and extension were not fully apparent until 1 of the 3 months after surgery, although there is improvement in the mobility aspect of tongue after surgical intervention. In some cases, tongue movement may require long recovery period. This most likely related to the fact that tongue muscles take some time to adapt after the removal of lingual frenulum. In these cases, mobility exercise are recommended. In the present study, the effect of exercise after frenectomy showed promising results. A limitation of study was that the evaluator was not blind to frenectomy, only to myofunctional therapy. A blind assessment was not feasible because the same researcher assessed the patient before after, and after surgery. Despite these limitations, marked improvement were identified. Conclusion: based on the results of this study, following conclusions were made. Frenectomy as a standalone treatment is an effective means of improving general aspects of tongue lift and functional aspect of mobility of tongue as well as speech. Frenectomy in association with myofunctional therapy leads to better tongue lift and mobility as well as other aspects of speech such as mouth opening, tongue positioning, and speech accuracy. Multidisciplinary treatment proved to be effective in short period of time, demonstrating need to be prescribing tongue mobility exercise and phrenectomy for patient's evaluation. Critical analysis. This journal is published Dental Journal of Dentistry for Children. Article is mentioned under the original research randomized controlled clinical trial. It is an original journal. ISSN number 19355068. Mesh terms lingual frenulum, lingual frenum, myofunctional therapy, tongue surgery, tongue disease. It is published in the year 2022, volume 89, issue 1, page 3 to 10. Title indicates the topic and focus of the study. It is meaningful and complete, reflects the aim and objective of the study. Title does not include the important variable to be measured. It does not give an idea of the study population, does not give idea of study design. Title looks catchy. The end of the title is appropriate, not too long, too short. It is specific. Authors' names are mentioned, institutional attachment is mentioned, designation of the author are not mentioned, not mentioned about any works done in similar in different areas, not a familiar figure. They are not pioneer in any specific field. They are not new known authors. It is a abstract. It is a structured abstract, informative type. It is comprehensive in its content. It is appropriate, not too long, not too short. It is giving a gist of whole text. Information given in the abstract match with the text in detail. It does not contain any information which is not in the text. Facilitates reader in his selection of pertinity. Keywords are same as title. Introduction, it is introducing background and need of the study, meaning it is meaningful and concise. It is built on the existing literature. It has a seminar approach. It is logically presented. It has cited few important studies. Citations have revealed and permanent to the study. Citations have followed the correct reference in the list. It has presented the need for the study, explicit mention of the aim and objective. It has not stated the research question at the end. It has not introduced the background of subject to the reader. Study design mentioned in detail about intervention. It was a randomized controlled trial. Methodology. The study is logical, clear, and meaningful and is replicable. Study is appropriate with aim and objective mentioned. Design of the study is explicit. 40 children were diagnosed with altered lingual frenulum. Results are presented in logical and comprehensible manner. Important results are mentioned in both table and text manner. Tables are numbered and titled properly. Descriptive and inferential data mentioned in the tables. Tables are simple and aligned properly. Text in the tables and text match with each other. Discussion, it is meaningful, highlights the important findings in the study. Explanation given to all significant findings. Compare the current finding to the reported one in the literature. Comparison is logical and reasoned properly. Implications of the study discussed. Limitations of the study mentioned. Discussions did not include any element of imagination or speculation. It opened new vistas for further research. Conclusion is meaningful. Authors have mentioned it to be based on aim and objectives, supportive by data collection and results drawn. They have not generated new hypotheses as conclusion. They have made recommendations for further trials of longer duration. Conclusions are clear enough to be believed. Citations done for every text part. Secondary reference are not mentioned. They are accurate reference. They are enough reference to recent publications. They have followed Vancouver system. Thank you.